Want to hear a more diverse perspective on art? Tune in to Speaking of Art, the official podcast of Sharjah Art Foundation, featuring conversations with some of the most prominent artists and curators from Asia, Africa, and around the world. Listen to Speaking of Art wherever you get your podcasts.
It's across Ghana's 16 regions around the world is on myjoyonline.com. Coming up, Audit Service Board justifies decision to change locks to Office of Auditor General while he's on leave, insisting it had to be done to secure the office.
The board has every right to make sure that the place is secure. The problem with the locks was that Mr. Domelevo came there a day after he has left and went there, collected letterhead, and without telling the acting auditor general that he was there.
National Peace Council pushes for police to bar people from wielding guns in public.
When we are going to a police station, it's a place that is crowded. The place is not a battleground. This is early warning signs, and we must deal with them at once.
And in business,
New Ghana Statistical Service report rates almost half of the country's population as poor. We've got details later on the Joy Business Report.
We also have the incredible story of some frontline workers sacrificing all to save lives and only connecting with family on WhatsApp.
Hello. Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am.
I've missed you.
Yes, I miss you too.
You want to stay for that? New research suggests women's phones contain 64% more germs than phones of men.
We have more bacteria female than the males, but in effect you have about 100,000 different. But these are only 50 students that were interviewed.
We have these and more coming up on the news this morning. Thanks for making time. We're fed up. Words from the Audit Service Board Chairman, Professor Jiman, who is fighting off claims that Auditor General Daniel Domelevo has been locked out of his office. Mr. Domelevo was directed by President Akufo-Addo to take his accumulated leave of 167 days and was unable to access his office this week when he passed by to pick some documents. The locks to his office had been changed, but Chairman of the Audit Service Board has been defending the decision to change the locks. He says it was done to secure the office. He spoke to my colleague Joseph Akable.
The board was informed that he came back, collected some documents, including letterhead. The acting auditor general informed us that he wasn't happy about the security of that office, and therefore he was suggesting that we secure the place. The board authorized him to buy new locks and secure the place.
Well, co-chair of the Citizen Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu, however, says this action is very dangerous for the country's democracy.
That's a very incredulous statement he was making. When I'm on leave and I'm coming back to the office, I don't start telling people who are acting I'm coming from passing by and come to check my mail or, say hi to friends. This is really, either you want to look at it as being very petty, or else, if this is what we are going to spend our time focusing on as the board of the audit service, then we've gotten everything topsy-turvy.
And you heard the co-chair of the Citizen Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu. National Peace Council is pushing for a policy to bar civilians from wielding guns in public. This comes after an alleged security operative who pulled a gun to threaten bodyguard of the MP for Aswase, Muntaka Mubarak, at a registration centre. The Peace Council is warning of dire consequences in the upcoming election should government refuse to act to curb the violent trend. Right Reverend Christopher Nyako Andam is Ashanti Regional Peace Council chairman.
It's becoming a phenomenon. We must put a stop to it at once before it escalates to something else. Going to the police station to register your name or to vote, the place is not a battleground. This is early warning signs, and we must deal with them at once.
And that's the Right Reverend Christopher Nyako Andam. The Electoral Commission says it has suspended the voters' registration exercise scheduled for Friday, July 31, 2020. In a statement, the Commission indicates the move is to allow for the celebration of Eid al-Adha. MP for Aswase Muntaka Mubarak and his colleague Ras Mubarak had earlier called on the Electoral Commission to suspend the exercise because of the celebration. Here are excerpts of that statement.
The public is hereby informed that the Commission will not undertake the voter registration exercise on Friday, the 31st of July 2020. The voter registration exercise will resume on Saturday, the 1st of August to Thursday, the 6th of August 2020.
Excerpt of a statement issued by the Electoral Commission. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta will later today face Parliament's Finance Committee to justify his decision to breach the Financial Stability Act 2019, which prohibits him from overspending. The law says Parliament should pass a vote of censure to remove the Finance Minister if the country's budget deficit goes above 5% of GDP. The figure is now more than 7%, but the minister says COVID-19 related expenditure made this inevitable. He has submitted a request to the House requesting a suspension of the law. Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Mark Esibe-Yeboah, says a decision on whether the minister should be sanctioned can only be taken after this afternoon's meeting.
We have to peruse the matter and then report back to the House. So the request for the suspension has to be approved by Parliament. And so the minority leader is running ahead of himself.
Well, Ranking member on Parliament's Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Inusa Fuseni, says the minister must go.
The law gives the minister the power to come to Parliament to request of Parliament to suspend the relevant sections of the Fiscal Responsibility Act. The law doesn't vest in the minister the power to so suspend them himself, breach the act, and come for an ex facto rationalization of the breach. That power is not in the act.
We'll bring you updates of this votes of censure later in Parliament. She was one of the frontline workers who dealt with Ghana's initial cases of COVID-19, but the numbers would increase and require more than what any health worker was prepared to give. Evelyn Naki-Dawuna soon left her home to take up residence at the Ga East Municipal Hospital. This meant leaving behind her own mum and her 9-year-old son. Here's a story about her mother on the front line.
Hello.
Yes, Ma.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, Ma.
A tired mother looks straight at the electronic device before her. She laughs. The tablet is the safest way to touch base with family, but keep her distance as she works to save lives. Evelyn Naki-Dawuna is Quality and Safety Manager, Infection, Prevention and Control at the Ga East Municipal Hospital.
I've missed you.
Yes, I miss you too.
Evelyn has been living in a facility provided by the hospital for the past 5 months, sacrificing family time on her patients.
I have not gone for 1 week rest before since we started in March. So I've been given accommodation and I moved in. We do a lot of WhatsApp call, video call to see them and talk.
And with rising cases of coronavirus, she barely has time for anything else.
At times I even forget to eat. So one of them has taken the responsibility. Madam, you haven't eaten.
And that story filed by PSC and Nanayao Safo. Now, mobile users handle their devices in several ways and in different environments. This can lead to an increased contamination by various germs that may cause health problems to users. But which groups of users are mostly at risk? A research by the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has found women's mobile phones have slightly more germs as compared to their male counterparts. Kwesi Deborah has more in this report.
The study, yet to be published, has found 64% germ load on women's handset. Between January and April 2019, researchers recruited over 50 university students having a mobile device. The researchers took swab samples from the mobile phone surfaces for laboratory analysis. According to the findings, 98% of the phones had at least one germ present.
Well, we have more bacteria on the female than the males, but in effect you have about 100,000 difference. But another thing that stood out was that we actually looked out for 3 particular organisms. E. coli, for obvious reasons, that it's an indicator of fecal contamination, and then Staphylococcus aureus, also disease-causing bacteria, and also we also looked at Salmonella, which is a food poison.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
That's it really for the news at 6 this morning. Our top headline is our Audit Service Board justifies decision to change locks to Office of Auditor General while he's on leave, insisting it had to be done to secure the office. And the National Peace Council pushes for police to bar people from wielding guns in public. There's more news on myjoyonline.com, but our Arrive Alive tip this morning: always use your turn signals in advance of making a lane change or turning. This campaign on the 6 a.m. news is brought to you by Toyota Ghana Limited and Bedrock Insurance. My name is Mama Vio Swabwade. Thanks for your company.
Charlie, check this. You don't feel out? The sound of this engine, music to my ears.
I tell you. But you check your engine oil.
I always they tell you I check. I've told you I only use Total Quartz engine oils.